Hello, my name is Tim Healy, and in this video, we're going to review the Simple Review widget. We're going to talk about its purpose. We're going to talk about how you assign it to people, and we're going to demo it like it's been assigned to us. So first, let me talk about the concept. Quincy is an extremely powerful tool, but it is almost too flexible. The power of it, the flexibility of it is often overwhelming to users that just want a simple, straightforward review interface. To accommodate those type of viewers, we've created various different mechanisms for configuring Quincy to make it more simplistic. But we've always sort of fallen short of, if you will, the walled garden, really, really clean-cut environment these users have tended to want. And on top of this list, I would generally say legal reviewers want something cleaner than Quincy is generally set up to provide. And so to mitigate that limitation, we have created the Simple Review widget. The idea is to provide a very straightforward, very clean, very simplistic review interface that users that aren't interested in all the power of Quincy can take advantage of. We're going to show you how to assign it. It is unique among the widgets in Quincy, and so understanding how to assign this environment to somebody is critical to using it, and obviously we're going to demo it here. So let's hop into the tool and play around with assigning and demoing it. So the first thing to notice is the Simple Review widget is right here, and it can be opened like any other widget. So let's just do that. And when you do it, you open it, you see this screen, and you can select cases and you can open them and you can go to the next screen. We'll explore the screens when we're actually demoing it as though a user was using it. But the key point here is you can play around with it just like any other widget. You can see here it's showing us in the dashboard, if you will. This is the dashboard of Quincy, of the Simple Review environment. All the information, data by cases, file categories, uh, total tagged objects, and so on and so forth. But again, the key point here is you can open it up, you can use it like any other widget, but it is not meant to necessarily be utilized like this. So let me show you how to assign it to a user, and let me show you what I mean by it's not meant to be utilized like this. So to assign the Simple Review widget to a user, we do it just like we do with all our other widgets. We come into Roles, and we create a role that has only the Simple Review widget in it. So let me show you here. This is our investigator role, and this is the one we'll be using. So let's go ahead and edit it, and let me show you what I did. For view, I gave it desktop. You must give it desktop. That can be the only view you give it, just desktop. And then for widgets, you must assign it only the Simple Review widget. If you assign it any other widget in conjunction with the Simple Review widget, it will open up the desktop, just like it works for every other configuration. But that's not what we want to do here. Then it's relatively important to go through and assign the remaining permissions as you would intelligently relative to what you want the user to do. With the exception that generally I would give them all widget filters, and then the rest actually are fine. Just make sure you give them all widget filters in order to be successful. The reality is, if you really know the Simple Review widget, when you get deeper into it, you don't need to assign them all 47 of the widget filters, but it won't negatively affect them having additional widget filters. They'll never even see them, and it gets quite complex understanding which are important and which aren't. So, okay, so we've gone ahead and we've made that role, and then we gave that as the only role to our Stefan user. You can see his only role here is the investigator, and that was the role that just has the Simple Review widget as part of it. We have to give him cases, whatever cases we want him to have, as well as this role. Okay, now let's log out and log in as Stefan and see how Stefan sees the world. So we're going to click here, log out. We're going to log in as Stefan and go ahead and click log. Now while it loads up, let me explain a little bit about what's going on. It's going through the normal login process it would for any other configuration. However, the moment it sees that Stefan has only one role, that role has only one view, that view is the desktop view, and then that role has only one widget, and that widget is the simple review widget. Once it sees all those conditions are met, it immediately goes, aha, this is a simple review user, and it throws them into the environment you see here, which looks obviously nothing like Quincy. It is just the simple review widget expanded out to fill the entire environment. Obviously, if you were to go into the HTML, you'd see that everything about Quincy is hidden in the background, but the only thing this user is going to see is, again, this walled simple review environment. He's got a search here. This search will search on his cases. So if we wanted to get to let's imagine he has hundreds of cases and we want to get to the demo case. There we go. We've just started DE, and that's the only case that matches. This user can add cases, create cases, assuming he's got that privilege. He can see all his cases, all the data in his cases, the file category of his cases, and the tagged total objects. Now, to be clear, we did open this environment with the full 194 cases we have, that I have, but most of those cases are empty. And if you have a huge environment, this simple review widget, this panel, for example, is not meant to be given to an administrator or somebody that has hundreds of cases under them. It's again designed for the simple reviewer. This reviewer probably only has a small number of cases assigned to him at any given time, because these graphics become quite difficult or relatively slow as the volume of data gets enormous. You can see also he can open up various widgets here in the bottom, tasking and auto tagging. Let's go ahead and click on the demo case, and then we can go into the demo case by hitting here or by just clicking open. Either will work. So let's click here. And now we're going to get a case summary. And again, we could have actually opened multiple cases if we wanted. This is all the evidence in the cases that we've opened. Again, if we open multiple, you would see them. File categories, file status, and labels applied. You can see over here there are two icons. There's evidence status and add evidence. If we want to add evidence to this case, we can click here, and then we can simply drag and drop the evidence we want right here. We choose again how we want it processed, whether it's FTK standard. Your administrator will have set these up, and how to set these up is all explained in the processing widget. And the videos on the processing widget. But anyway, you drag and drop your evidence. It will upload the evidence and make it part of your case. If you want to see the status of that, obviously, once you've initiated the upload status, you upload process, you can click on here and see the status. We're not going to do any of that right now. You can see, again, there are a bunch of additional widgets down here: job status, report, internet widget. In addition, we can type here searches. And if we typed federal, for example, I haven't indexed this case, so this won't particularly work. Whatever is reactive to federal will update, and all these tables will be in turn updated. So let's say there was only 5 documents that were reactive to the term federal. All this would go away, and you just see 5 documents. Again, this case is unindexed, so I'm not going to do that. But let's just go ahead and go in. Let's actually select on, no, let's not. No, we'll just do documents here. and we'll go ahead and go in. Now we're going into review. And you can see it filtered on the documents. One thing I should point out is you can see there are 130 documents there, whereas in the other tab, there were only 55. You might ask why the discrepancy. The discrepancy is because a whole bunch of these documents are imports that we've run, and they're not picked up in the filter. They're not actually even documents. They're just, I was testing the slip sheet capability. And you should have those filtered out anyway. But nonetheless, anyway, that's the reason for the discrepancy there. You can see you've got the evidence here that you selected. You've got filters down here if you want to click on the Adobe documents. Let's just filter to the Adobe documents. Boom, that's those 15. And we can go ahead and click on any one of those and, view it in the viewer. There we are, 3266. Now, if we want to start to do stuff in terms of coding, we can go ahead and close or minimize that panel. And when we do that, you'll see that more options get presented to us in the viewer option. So let's go ahead and move over here. Let's click back on our PDF. And you can see now we can just sort of linearly move through our documents if we want. And we can see if those documents are ever part of a conversation. Yeah, if there are families associated with those documents, if there are near duplicates associated. We want to know the properties of the document because, again, we've hidden our grid and maybe we care about what information, what metadata is contained in this document. This is all configurable. We can tag over here. You can see this document is tagged with fed tag. If I wanted to add the gov2 tag, I could just click on here and that would add it. Any of our bookmarks are right here. And you can see this document has been bookmarked with these 2 bookmarks. And there may be additional ones. No, just those 2. And you can slide down here and click on any of those bookmarks and, maybe add a comment or do whatever you want with this document. Also, you can add a note if you want, or you can download the document. You can download the document and download the entire family. Obviously, there's search. You can have advanced search as well. There are, in addition, let me now expose the grid again. There are a couple of different options you can have here. If you want to pop up, let's say we had geolocation data, which I don't, so it's going to be a little bit counter or unexciting. But if we wanted to see all this plotted on a map, we could go ahead and open it up. And if this was geolocation data, it would go ahead and plot on our map. Same is true about a timeline. We could graph a timeline of this data, or if it was pictures, we could look at the thumbnails. All that kind of stuff is available. But that's really it. That's all this simple review widget is intended to do. It provides a very simple, very sort of structured review environment to allow people to just quickly look at their documents, understands what's in their documents, apply tags or bookmarks or notes or whatever, and then be done. They can always obviously go back and change their filter. If they want to now look at emails, they could, and they can go in. Or to be clear, they don't even have to apply a filter here. They could just go directly in, and it will load now all the documents in the case. And then you could go through and do all the same stuff we're doing. We've got this filter applied, so it's going to be sort of anticlimactic. But anyway, there we go. So let's go back out. And that's really it. Actually, I don't really have a heck of a lot more to show. Again, all these things work the same way those other widgets did. If we wanted to run a report, we've done all the tagging we wanted. We now want to generate a report. We can come into here and do it the same way we did. This is the report widget. If you want to know how this report widget works, go ahead and review the report widget video. But boom, you have the report widget right here, and you can generate reports however you want. So that's it. Hopefully that's a good overview. There's a lot to digest here. This is, again, the first launch of this widget. This is the April 23rd release. So there will be a significant amount of features added and maturing done to this widget, but I think it is a really exciting addition to Quincy. I hope you agree, and I hope this video was helpful for you.